Hey everyone, welcome back to Death Must Die's Act 3. So today we're going to talk about one big problem in this game that still exists that may even necessitate a full gear wipe at some point in the future here. So just before we get into the discussion, guys, if you enjoy anything in the video, hit like and subscribe for me. So what am I even talking about? So it's come to my attention recently that some of these gear rolls are just straight up not accessible to you guys anymore. If you didn't grind hard in Act 2, you can no longer get 10% master offers on your helmet. You can no longer get 104 life rolls on places like the boots or another one over here on the helmet. This one, in fact, has 104 life plus 7.2% master offers. So something like this is just straight up not available in the game anymore at all. So this gives veteran players a huge gear stat advantage. I mean, look at the difference. These are really impactful stats. So this is the difference between 22 and 32% master offers. That is a significant difference, right? Now, I knew that going into Act 3 here, some values were nerfed. The damage rolls were nerfed on, like, for example, my dash build that I had on Maris. It went from like 800 or so percent dash damage down to like 200 and something. So they definitely brought the values way down on the damage rolls. But some of these rolls just weren't changed whatsoever, like master offers and life specifically. You can no longer get these really, really large life rolls, even on the belts, the gloves, the boots. Now, the chests are a little bit different because they added the revives onto the chests. So even though you can't get as much life on the chests, you now can get 2 revives. So their whole reasoning for changing the life rolls is they wanted to, I don't know, I think they said they wanted to buff the defensive affixes, but that doesn't make any sense why you'd nerf them and then put them into revive. So that's one thing, but the master offers are, man, master offers are very impactful and very, very strong on some of these builds. I think it's a really bad idea to let veteran players just have more stats just because they played at some point in the past. I think that's really, really weird. I'm not sure why these weren't changed, but some other affixes were changed. That doesn't really make sense to me. And now I know some things like Curse of Weakness was changed from 60% down to 18%. So that makes sense. That is a special affix that is always exactly the same. It doesn't randomly roll its value. Curse of Weakness was always 60%. Now it appears to be 18% on all of those items. So I don't think Curse of Weakness is accessible anymore either. If that's the case, I mean, that is such a strong affix that damage resistance is really, really strong. So I don't know. I think having all of these affixes be inaccessible now to to new players, but still be accessible to veteran players who have those items, I think is such a bad idea, man. It is just widening the gap even more and more and more between people who have grinded in the past in this game, people who have like hundreds or thousands of hours into the game, and people who are coming in fresh or who have only started in Act 3. Even if they've grinded a lot of Act 3, they're never going to be able to get these rolls. Literally never. Now, the one other thing is that the Christmas items that they put in the little Christmas event, I can understand those only being accessible during Christmas. They weren't crazy OP. There are a couple of items there that are interesting, but they weren't like crazy overpowered or anything like that. These mythics, these are like raw stats that are really, really powerful. Now, the game is a little bit easier now with the changes they made to Darkness 100, so it might not be necessary to have 104 life on your boots. However, it is still very, very strong, right? So to have these stats just be not available now, but for me to be able to keep all these items and you guys not be able to get them feels like and crazy to me. I don't know. I cannot get behind that. That's crazy. So to me, this will necessitate, if they can't retroactively change stuff like this will necessitate a full game gear wipe at some point in the future. Probably for 1.0, I imagine, right? I don't think they would do a full game gear wipe for like Act 4 and 5 before a 1.0 release. However, I don't see any other, if they can't retroactively change this stuff, I don't see how you can say, yeah, this is fine. Just keep it the way it is. You're going to have to do a full-on wipe at some point. Now, guys, I'm not saying I'm necessarily for a gear wipe. I know people spend lots of time grinding loot in this game, making their character builds, and to have that sort of taken away from you, I understand that. That doesn't feel good, right? So I'm not saying it is a good gracious solution or something like that. However, you just can't let veteran players have all these stats that other players can't get. It's, as I said before, there is already this huge knowledge gap between people who are coming in fresh and people who have played this game for hundreds or even thousands of hours. There is already a big knowledge gap. You can't then also put a big stats gap as well. That's crazy to me. I don't know, man. So, I don't know, so when we came from Act 2 into Act 3, they definitely nerfed some values. As I said before, my Dash Maris build is the one that I really noticed, because that was the last one I had equipped on, right? And I used to get like 800 or so % damage just from the gear items, right? And that was definitely brought down to like 250 or somewhere around there. I can't exactly remember. Now they can and they have changed unique. So the one thing that they clearly can change on the fly is the unique values. Stuff like Sorcerer's Ring, these sorts of... I don't have the other one on here, but yeah, unique items they can definitely fiddle with, right? But I don't know. So I'm starting to understand more and more why newer players are coming to me being really frustrated about the status of the game, because there is a big gap between people who have played this game a lot and people who are coming in fresh. Now, I know not everyone will start this game and find this knowledge wall to be difficult or whatever, right? Some people will come in and maybe they have an understanding of gear affixes and damage buckets, and maybe they played some ARPGs before, so they understand randomly rolled loot affixes. So, you know, people like that do have an advantage, that's for sure. But to give veteran players both the knowledge advantage and the raw stats advantage, I think is a big no-no. I don't know why this is even a thing, and I only just sort of figured this out because I went back and tested it in Act 2 through Lorien, through the Cheese Bowl Lorien setup on, and went into Act 2, and I sifted through like 100 mythics in a single run and had a look, and yeah, they have been changed to be in line with the tier 3 items, but their stats are a bit lower, right? So anyway, guys, I think this is a kind of a weird place for the game to be in right now. Stuff like this, I think, really needs to change. I don't think you can go into a 1.0 and have all the veteran players have all this insane stats that are no longer available or accessible. I think something like Mast offers in particular is so impactful. Stuff like high life rolls that aren't accessible anymore. It's really impactful, and I think it's a pretty big no-no. Anyway, guys, that is the video there. I think it's a weird place this game is in right now. I don't know, but if you guys found the video enjoyable or useful at all, consider hitting like and subscribe. I'll catch you all in the next one. We've got a build coming up soon for you guys, so hope you all have a fantastic, amazing day. Take it easy. Holy crap, there's an epic thunderstorm rolling in. Oh, guess I'm staying inside making videos.